Welcome to the Dougie Wuggy Story Hour. I'm coming to you today from Glorieta Elementary School in Orinda, California. Yay! Today's story is called Chippy the Chipmunk, a true story from when I was a little boy. When I was about maybe 9, this is true, this really happened. When I was about 9, my two brothers and I have a little brother named Peter. I have a big brother named Jeff. And we were playing across the street in a little field where we would play baseball and football and tag and everything. And we found a chipmunk that was lying in the grass. It was barely moving. It was breathing. It was not dead, but it was like not moving. And my older brother said, "Oh, look at this poor little guy." And then my little brother said, "We should take it home. We should see if Mom will take it to the vet." So we went home and we got some gloves and a shoebox, and we came back and we picked up the little chipmunk and we put it in the shoebox with some dirt, some leaves, and then we took it home. But instead of telling Mom and Dad, we snuck it into the basement through the back door, because we didn't think that Mom and Dad would let us have a chipmunk in our house, especially a sick one. So we put some more food in there, and we poked holes in the shoebox so it could breathe. We put in a little cup of water, and we put in some cereal and some fruit and things that, chipmunks like. And then, but it was not getting better. It was just lying there like I don't feel good. You know when you're sick and you just kind of are lying in bed and you don't feel good? Yeah, you don't really want to do much and you don't want to eat, and it's like, And then the next day we come back, it's still sick. It's not moving hardly. It's breathing. It's like, and we try to give it more food, more water, and like nothing. And then we come back the next day, still just lying there. But it started to smell bad, because it was like we had this sick chipmunk in our basement in a shoebox, and we were hiding it behind we had a little bookshelf and blocks and stuff. It was like our playroom, and was right next to the laundry room. And then my mom came down to do the laundry, and she was like, "Something stinks down here." And my brother said, "Oh, it's the laundry, Mom." She said, "No, it smells like a dead animal." And we're like, "Oh, no, Mom, no. And then she said, "That's coming from over there." And she goes behind the bookshelf, and she sees the shoebox. She goes, "What's in the shoebox?" And my brother said, "Nothing, Mom, nothing at all." And she said, "Move aside." She opens up the shoebox. She's like, "Oh, what is that?" And my brother said, "It's a chipmunk, Mother, a chipmunk. And he's sick, and his name is Chippy, and he's our friend, and we love him, and you have to take him to the vet right now." And she's like, "No, I don't. You just picked up this random chipmunk, and you expect me to take it to the vet? That's for dogs and cats. We just took your dog there, and it cost $100. I'm not taking a chipmunk there." And we're like, "Please, Mom, please." She's like, "No, you have to get rid of it." And we were like, "No, we do not want to get rid of it. He's our friend, and we love him, and we're not getting rid of him." She said, "Okay, you have until Friday to get rid of this chipmunk, because on Friday, your dad and I are having a party. We're having guests over, and I do not want this house smelling like a sick chipmunk. Okay?" And we're like, "Okay, Mom, got it." So Thursday comes. Does Chippy get better? Nope. Yes or no? No. Friday comes. Is Chippy better? Yes or no? No, correct. And then it's Friday night. And my mom comes down. She goes, "Okay, you need to get rid of the chipmunk. Our guests are coming in like 10 minutes. We're like, "Okay, Mom, we got it. We're going to take him back." She said, "Yes, take him back." I'm like, okay. And we start to get him ready, and the doorbell rings, and the guests start coming to the party. And then we heard the voice of our doctor and his wife. They were there. They were friends of my parents. And my brother said, "Hey, Dr. Walter's here. He's a doctor. Maybe he can fix Chippy, because he's a doctor." And I'm like, "Yeah, but he's not a vet. He's like a kid's doctor." "I know, but he's a doctor. Okay, maybe Chippy can get healed by him. It's worth a try." So we go upstairs, And we're like, hi, Dr. Walter. And he's like, hello, boys. How are you? We're fine, but our chipmunk is not fine. He's sick. Oh, you have a pet chipmunk? Yes, he's in the basement. We were wondering, since you're a doctor, maybe you could come and check him out. And he's like, well, I don't really know anything about animals. I am a pediatrician. I take care of you and your brothers and other kids. I don't know anything about animals. I don't even own pets. And then we're like, please, 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 please. And he said, okay, I'll get my doctor bag. Because, back in the old days, you probably don't know this, but sometimes if you were sick, instead of you going to the doctor's office, he would come to your house with his doctor bag. So he goes to his car. He has this big bag with all his doctor stuff. And he goes to the basement. He goes, oh, it kind of stinks down here. My mom's like, right? I know, right? And he goes, okay, show me where the chipmunk is. So he opens up the box. He goes, oh, look at that poor little guy. And he takes his gloves out. And he gets his stethoscope out, where they listen to your breathing and your heart. When the doctor listens to your heart and your breathing. And he goes, well, the heart sounds good. Mm-hmm. The breathing sounds good. Uh-huh. And he feels on the paws. Well, I don't feel any broken bones. And then he picks up the tail. Chippy didn't like that. Chippy's like, hey, mister, excuse me. It's kind of a private area back there. Down with the tail, buddy. And then he goes, you know what? Look, I think your mom is right. I think you need to take the chipmunk back to where you found him, because if he stays in your basement in a shoebox, he's not going to live very much longer. So it's better to take him back to Mother Nature. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
I think so. So we're like, okay, you're the doctor. So we go across the street, we open up the shoebox, and you will never believe what happened. Chippy runs out of the shoebox, full speed. We're like, yay, he's better. Woohoo! And then he stops. And we're like, uh-oh, why'd he stop? And then he starts running in circles, like chasing his own tail. We're like, whoa, what the heck? That is not normal for a rodent to run in circles. Something is wrong with this guy. And then he does 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles, and the 4th circle, he runs into the street and falls into the sewer. You know where the water goes when it rains? And he falls maybe about as far just like from that piano down to here. He was not hurt. He lands. He's like, huh! And he lands on all 4. And then he just runs down the sewer. Like, bye, see ya. Thanks for taking care of me. I'm good now. I'm going to live in the sewers. Yay. And he just runs down the sewer. And we're like, bye, Chippy. Have a nice life in the sewers. And my brother said, maybe he'll meet a sewer rat and they'll get married and they'll have little rat chipmunk babies. I don't know, what would you call those, like rat monks? And so, rat monks. So we go home and the doctor's like, so how did that work out? And my brother's like, not so great. He ran in circles and fell into the sewer. And the doctor's like, oh, I'm sorry. I told you I'm not a vet. And my brother's like, that's for sure. And my mom's like, don't be rude. Dr. Walter tried. And we're like, yeah, thank you, Dr. Walter. And he said, I think he's better off in the sewer. At least he's free. And that is the true story of Chippy the Chipmunk. And now you can cheer and applaud for me.